Hello, I'm Brenda, and this is Write Your Story. This is one in a 4-part series in where I talk about voice in writing. What is voice in memoir writing? Why is it important? How do we find our voice in writing our memoirs? And how do we fine-tune our voice? Remember, we write our memoir story first for ourselves, but then we do want to fine-tune our voice. We do want to hone it. We do want to hone our message and what we're wanting to convey to the reader. So once we've written the story first for ourselves, we filter through it to find out what is the true story, what is the real story that I'm telling you out of all that I've written out on the page. You pick out that theme, or you find that story that perhaps you thought your theme was this, you actually start to see it something else, or it started to go somewhere else you weren't expecting. That's all part of the writing practice that brings out your voice. But now, to fine-tune it, you hone it by editing it, by revising it, by coming to know and understand language. So you know how a sentence works, you know the structure of a language, you know verb, you know noun, you know how they work together, you know how to accentuate with punctuation or to remove the punctuation, how to structure your paragraph, your sentences. Did I already say that? You're getting the picture. You actually come to know the toolbox of language and how to convey it. And it doesn't have to be superfluous, it doesn't have to be flashy, you don't have to have words like histrionic in your toolbox, a word I absolutely love. You don't need any of those. You need simple language. The simpler your language, the simpler the way you convey your stories, I feel, the better. That's how I like to write. I find I get really bogged down in stories that are too wordy, that are too descriptive, that are too... Perhaps that's the writing style, and people who write like that, that comes naturally to them. I don't respond to it as a reader. And when I write, I like it to be simple. So don't get overawed thinking, well, I'm not that good with grammar. I'm not that good with verbs and conjugation and clauses and phrases and understanding them all. Sign up, subscribe. I'm going to be talking about all that too. But that's not that important so much as to know you should know it, you can learn it, but you cannot learn authenticity. It comes from within you by unearthing it, and you unearth it with your writing. So you're getting that picture, right, of how to find your voice, how to express it, how to revise, how to edit, how to hone and fine-tune your voice. It's all possible, and it's all out there for you to do. So once you've got that in your toolbox, the other way you fine-tune and hone your voice is by being curious. I think curiosity is a key element of memoir writing, and perhaps of all writing, is to be curious. Be curious about yourself, and that's what we've been talking about with memoir writing, and particularly how to find your voice in memoir writing. Be curious about yourself. Be curious about your reader. What can you convey that is of use and value to your reader? Be curious about how you can cause the reader to be curious about you, and you do that in how you structure your story and how you use that toolbox to develop that curiosity. And the third way that you're curious is about language and the craft of writing. Keep honing your skills. Fall in love with the life of being a writer. Fall in love with writing. Fall in love with making a difference in this world and conveying your story. Fall in love with words. Be curious about what fires you up, what gets you going. I love words, and I love stories, and I love helping people, and I have been gifted and talented to write. That has been a discovery in and of itself, that I love to write. And so that's it for another video for sure. But because I've discovered that about myself, I'm now passionate about using writing to help others to write their story. And so come to be curious about who you are, what fires you up, and how you can use it to put words on the page and make a difference in this world for yourself, for your reader, for the community you live in. That's an integral part of writing, and I love it for that alone. So what do you find important about voice? What has spoken to you in this video? I'd love to hear about it. Please put it down in the comments below. If there's something else you want me to talk about, let me know that too. I'm always open to speaking to what you, the viewer, would like to hear. So I will see you in the next video. Keep writing, discover your voice, put it on the page, and put it out there.